Today's quick chat is with Reverend Skip White, Senior Pastor of Trinity United Methodist Church in Athens, Tennessee. Skip is a veteran in streaming worship services, having implemented streaming at prior appointments. All these churches would be considered average in size, so Skip's superpower is gearing up production facilities on a limited budget. I asked Skip to share what churches should consider as they continue their growth in streaming worship online and other things to consider to continue to present a quality experience online. And I've asked Skip to share from his perspective some thoughts on how churches should proceed and some things they should consider as they go forward. So Skip, thanks for joining us today. The floor is yours.
No problem. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity to share. Yeah, I've done this at 3 other churches, installed live stream systems, and have learned a lot over the years. And I was just talking with another church this morning about what to think about when you're live streaming. And here's the simple rule is this: video is easy, sound is hard. Just remember that. Getting your video of your service or any kind of video online is the easy part. The technology platforms have expanded. They're all great. They're all relatively inexpensive. Years ago, I mean, it cost you a fortune to live stream, and now you can do it almost for free if you want to, sometimes for free. So the video is the easy part, but where churches struggle and where I have made my mistakes over the years is getting the sound quality to match your in-house experience. That is extremely challenging. And for example, I'll give you an example. In a couple of the places that I've installed live streams, we decided that we all of the sound, you know, when you're sitting in-house, you can hear everything that happens. You can hear a book being dropped. You can hear somebody shuffling their feet. Pastor tells a funny joke. Everybody laughs. You can hear that. When you're running sound through the sound system, nothing goes over the air or into the recording without going through a microphone, either an over-the-ear mic or through the choir mics, okay? So we've made the decision from now on to do hot mics. That means there's mics that aren't going through the in-house system. They're only going through the live stream system or the record that will pick up ambient noise. Now that makes it very difficult because if you badmouth the pastor when he's not in the sanctuary, everybody's going to hear that, okay? But the reality is that it picks up a lot of that in-house experience and gives it to your congregation online. Now, when nobody's there now, that's not as big a deal, but that's something to think about, is grabbing sound from in-house is going to be difficult. The other thing you want to make sure you do is never, ever cut corners on the computer you buy. Computers are a very easy rule. You get what you pay for with computers. If you got a deal on a computer, you bought junk. Okay, now I know churches don't want to hear that because they want to save money, but that is a hard and fast rule, is if you save money on your computer, you will always regret it. You know, we've had this system here at Trinity for about 8 months now, and nobody has even recognized that we've had either a buffer or signal dropout or anything. And so they take for granted the fact that we've got consistent content going out all the time. And the reason why is because we bought a very expensive computer with a very powerful processor. Those are very important things. Also with a computer, you want to remember that you're shooting HD quality videos and storing them on your hard drive. You're going to have to clean that hard drive off about every 6 months because those things are taking up a massive amount of space. So buy an external hard drive, get the most amount of hard drive space that you can on your computer because you're going to use it up real quick. So those are just some cursory things about live stream. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that people have. Another kind of rule of thumb that I have when people ask me about technology in the church is that I know enough about technology to know I don't know enough about technology. So I always go out and find somebody that I like to work with that knows the business. They know what's coming around the corner, the best way to buy that equipment. You just can't get everything on Amazon. If you do that, again, you're going to be spending more time and money than you want to put into it. Find somebody in your area who is in the technology industry and then just let them quote you and manage it and install, because that's the way you want to do it. The other thing that I think is important in this day and age is what we're doing right now, which is Zoom meetings, weekly devotionals, stuff that you're going to want to shoot and send to your people in the long term, even after we go back in session. I think the digital platform is going to be primarily the way in which we meet, engage, and make disciples moving forward. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, but I don't see a plausible scenario by which the digital platform isn't the primary platform moving forward. That's going to feel and function a lot differently than what we're used to. And it's going to be hard for people who are extroverts like myself, who like being around people. You're going to have to find a way to engage them online in a digital form. One of the ways in which we did that, and I'll share with I've shared with Mark and some other folks, is that we built a little studio right here. We just renovated this. This is my office at Trinity, and we just renovated it so that we could paint the walls and these beautiful stained glass windows that I have behind me. And that painting my son did, so I got that behind me. But it's a great shot. It kind of looks like a shot you'd see on ESPN or on one of the talk shows. And we've done this with almost no money. This is a $49 webcam that I have sitting on top of a monitor that's in front of me. It's a 42-inch flat screen that I stole from my 10-year-old, okay? And then I built a rig, a set table that lifts it up to the right height so that the camera is above me but looking down, so the lighting is good. All of those things you want to take into consideration when you're putting this together. But I did this for almost no money. Like, I bought a $49 webcam. I've got this great kind of bistro table and high back chair that I'm sitting in. So kind of looks like I'm at Starbucks enjoying a latte. But it's a great shot. And when I do Bible studies and I do weekly devotionals from here, it always looks great, and it's got a great backdrop. So that's what I'd encourage you to do. Find a place in your church that's got a great backdrop. Get a woodworker to just build you out of junk lumber at Lowe's, the right height. Get somebody to buy you a $99 flat screen or steal one from your kid and say it's for Jesus. That's the best. That's what I did. I said, this is for Jesus. You can't get mad at me. But then you're set up and you can do it forever. And now sometimes when I have meetings in my office, I break this rig down and then put it back up. And that's not always fun, but it allows me to always use it and always use it well. We've got other shots in the church that I've built rigs for as well. And I just take my camera up there, plug it in, and I've got the sanctuary behind me, or I've got this great reclaimed lumber wall behind me. Just different shots that if you stand in front of them, they look really, really attractive, and it's more engaging for your people. Try not to do something that's too busy, or something that's got just a questionable background. Find a good shot. Make sure the camera angle is right and it's got good lighting, and you can put out quality stuff, like I said, for virtually nothing.
Fantastic. So what I hear you saying, Skip, is with the streaming, the next step for churches is quality. Let's let professionals help us take our next step. If for example we've taken a baby step just to get online during this shutdown. So going forward, a positive next step is to get the help of a professional and take a step towards, always push towards quality. And I totally agree with your thoughts on discipleship going forward. This is a platform that, Sally and Joe couldn't make it to Bible study because they were at the beach. Well, they can come to Bible study at the beach, while they're at the beach.
And now that we've got, the reality is, this is just to give you a perspective, right? So my father, when he was born, moved into a house that did not have plumbing or electricity. At the time of his death, he had an iPhone in his pocket and a Facebook account. Okay, now in the span of 72 years, he went from no indoor plumbing or electricity to having a smartphone and a Facebook account. That's 72 years. That's not that long of a time.
Yeah.
In the next 50 years, what do you think the church will look anything like it did 5 years ago or even 5 months ago? I don't think so. And so we have to remember that our grandchildren are going to sit back and say, when my dad started pastoring, there was no such thing as a live stream. And now I don't know what that's going to look like. But you have to look at this as a long-term thing. And we've just been ushered into a brand new world where the digital platform was already, if you think about how people were consuming media, they were cutting their cable so that they could watch TV on their iPhones. Do you not think that kind of culture is going to absorb the Christian lifestyle and discipleship through their smartphones. I mean, we were already moving in that direction. We just got a whole big push in the back into the deep end as the church. So we have to be thinking about how in which we are going to engage our congregation, yes, in person, yes, in small groups, but primarily what is going to be our outreach on the digital platform. And the other thing, and this is going to be the really hard thing, is how do we then begin to have conversations with our finance teams about the way in which we rearrange our budget to accomplish that. There is never going to be a better time to engage your finance team about the reallocation of resources to engage on a digital platform than right now in the pandemic. You're not going to get a second bite at the apple. If your computers stink at the church and you're working off a junk for Jesus, you're never going to have a better opportunity to emphasize that you need to have a good computer that can function in a way that you need it to engage on a digital platform. Once we go back in session, once we go back in person, you're not going to get another bite at that apple. This is your chance to emphasize how this is the reallocation of resources that needs to happen. I think that's going to be critical to whether churches survive this. This is going to be devastating financially, but the churches that don't reallocate their resources to engage that might not make it past the opening day.
I want to thank Skip for sharing some important yet simple ideas that can help churches improve and grow as you continue to engage with people online, even after your doors reopen. We want to share your ideas or address your questions about how we can connect with people in our digital culture to share the gospel and to baptize and grow disciples of Jesus Christ. Please feel free to email me at mark@churchcmo.com with your questions, ideas, or insights. We at Church CMO believe that the local church is the catalyst for change in their community and that you can change the world connecting with one person at a time. Let us know how we can help.